Hello everybody, this is Baron the Bear, and this is going to be another video guide for the mobile game Whiteout Survival. Make sure you like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications for future content. Check out my pinned comments, always put helpful information in those, like their Facebook, their Discord, some useful guides and videos that I feel might relate to this video. Always check those out. I'm going to go into this. It's basically going to be an introduction to this to kind of give you a heads up, answer some of the questions that I've seen some people had issues with. This is going to be the registration. The voting ends in 2 days. One issue I do see with this is the actual time to vote and to pick the players to do this event. It's all in the same time, and then it locks. So if something happens where you get the time you don't really want, this could be an issue. Once again, I want to remind everyone, it's important to give feedback to your content creators. If you're in an alliance, you've had these issues where the timing, that maybe this wasn't right, it didn't really work for you, that you didn't have the participation that you thought you could have had. Maybe they could do some changes. I know they're trying to get feedback so they can adjust things. So any type of feedback, if you want me to, relay certain issues, feel free to post in the comments below. We're going to get into the voting stage. As far as in this 2-day period, you will get this in the mail, and you basically will pick this. I know some players had issues and thought this was going to be at different times. This is only to vote for the time you want. Okay, majority of our alliance did vote for 14 UTC, but we actually ended up getting that 20 UTC. Okay, I'm thinking what's going to happen is going to decide on what the power of the other alliance that you're going to be matched against. And then, as you see, I think it picked the second time. So that could be an issue with the 30 players that you have. If everybody wanted for the first time and it gets picked at the second time, that could be an issue. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up on that. Registration 2 days. You can read some of this. I won't go over too much. You can pause it if you want to read this. I've written all this out. 30 combatants, 10 substitutes. Make sure, it's very important to try to get 30 people to do this, okay? And then if they don't, hopefully the 10 substitutes can replace them. If there's an issue, they don't show up. Make sure that they're aware of the emphasis that they want to participate, of being able to make it at least for the first 1 or 2 different times, because it might not be the time you guys really want. So just keep that in mind. Maybe later on, later in this event, in a few months, things will start to get more balanced, and maybe the matchmaking might be improved at that time. But this is going to be the very beginning. Don't lose heart in the beginning if things don't work out the first few times. If your alliance doesn't get the participation that they were trying to, this is the first time that you're going to do this. There's always room for improvement in this type of event. So I'm speak from experience. I played other games like this, so it's going to be kind of difficult in the very beginning. Entry, you can read this. You're going to basically make sure you don't have any troops out on the map. You don't have any wounded troops. You don't have any other members of your alliance in your base reinforcing you, or you won't be able to get into the battle. Okay, I'll go into the battle phases. You can see phase 1, you get the prototype sites, weapons, repair facility, boiler rooms, central transit station. Phase 2 will unlock the Imperial Foundry to be able to be controlled, and that's in the center. That's probably the most important building, so that will only come into phase 2. I did notice that they didn't have times for these phases. I'm not even sure. I couldn't even get information from anyone. So if you know what the times are, please post in the comments below so I can figure that out and make a future video. I will be doing this probably on Sunday, and I'll be able to find those times at that time. But I did make a note for that, and hopefully sent that to their staff. Hopefully maybe that will be added. Building bonuses, I felt like this should have been added to the rule, so I did submit that suggestion to put this in. Hopefully that will be added. Building bonuses, phase 1, boiler room, 50% control time. That's going to be great for if you capture that to get other buildings captured in half the time. Transit station is going to be 50% teleport cooldown. That's going to be a really great advantage, especially if you can control that right off the beginning and keep using your teleports. You'll be able to reuse that teleport you have in half the time the next time you use it, so that's an advantage there. Munitions warehouse, it's going to be in phase 2. That's going to be 15% damage boost reduction and 50% damage reduction for troops. So that's going to be great for controlling, boosting your power of your troops. Whichever side has accumulated the most alliance arsenal points by the end of the battle will be declared the winner. Hopefully, I'm curious what the time frame will be for this event. I'll let you know in a future video. Sometimes in some of these games, they'll put a cap, like if it gets to 50,000 or whatnot points, then the battle will end automatically. I'll see how that goes. If anybody has any feedback that he felt like it took too long and it was just like one-sided and, there's no point in continuing the battle anymore, please give me any kind of feedback. I can make suggestions on maybe putting a cap on points if it's too one-sided, which could very well happen in this type of event. I did change some of the wording with basically how this will work is, you get 40 personal arsenal points per 10,000 power of defeated player if you defend successfully, 80 if you attack successfully. So it's going to be double the points for attacking than it is defending, but I will give over theirs here in a minute about the advantages of both those. You will receive one advanced teleport in the very beginning, so make sure if you use that, if you're going to be planning on using it, one advantage would be to use it right off the bat, and then you'll regain that cooldown time will go down faster, and you can use it again. So that's one tip. Troops on the field cannot die. They will enter an unlimited capacity infirmary instead. They will heal over time. I'm not even sure how that will actually work until I try it, which will heal for free. All troops will instantly heal after the event ends, so hopefully there won't be no bugs in that, and everyone will have their troops healed after the event. Cities will burn if overpowered. So if you're overpowered during an attack, they will burn faster. I think there's 100 gems to extinguish. I think that's what they said it might be. Maybe it was 20 gems. I'm not real sure yet. But keep in mind, they will burn really fast, so you might have to use gems. So if you make sure you have some stock up on some gems if you're going to do a lot of fighting. That's one good tip. You will be forced to leave the battlefield if your wall is burned all the way down. It's a 12-minute cooldown, so you won't be able to get back out there and fight until that 12 minutes is up. So keep that in mind. All tech, alliance tech, your research, VIP, chief gear, skin bonuses all affect during the combat, so keep that in mind. I have some strategy, some basic strategy ideas. You could run 3 teams, you could run 2 teams. 2 teams would be 15 players, 3 teams would be 10 players. You can make a chart, you can separate the list down here. You can put team 1, the strongest, list the leader name of each team to be on the top of the list, and then go down to 10, and then you could write down their names, post this in your clan, whatever, if you use Discord or maybe in the mail, so everyone will know who's on what team. Would be useful. This could be team 3 here. This could be your weakest, just some, ideas. Might be best to control one side of the map and the center. Instead of, going over to the enemy side, you might be best to just defend your side. It's an idea. When defending, decide before battle starts how many players in each building. Organize the attacks. Like if you want to attack this building, how many you want to focus on staying in that building as others attack. Kind of like designate how many you want in each building to defend if you take them over. Here's some really good tips. Best to defend against solo attacks, because you can have 3 to 4 marches defending against one. So think about it. If you have 4 or 5 players or something in that building, and only one solo attack hits, If they send 4 or 5 marches, but they all attack at different times, if they attack, you'll have the advantage because you have more people to defend than as they attack. So that could be an advantage. One thing to avoid is staying in a building if strong rally marches on it. Remember, successful attacks score twice the points, so don't give them free points. If you see a really strong march with like a really strong player or something that's leading that march, you might want to all bail out of it before that rally hits, so you don't get defeated and they don't score, automatically score points. You could then pull out and then decide on how to play at that point to take it back or do something else. Just food for thought. Okay, this is the last part I'm going to make of this, and that will be it. This is a map, a picture Baby Bliss made. You can go to their Discord. I'll have the link in the pinned comments. Go to in the channel guide submissions, and you'll find this easily. You can download that there and get that map. I highly recommend getting it. She's great at making these pictures. Phase 1 is the first phase. So if you look at the buildings, the yellow ones are the very ones first you can attack. Now, remember that the boiler room is on the top of the map on the left. Transit stations on the bottom of the map on the right. So if you want to take one of those or both of those, you're going to have to go to those, okay, to attack them. Phase 2 is going to be the teal colors, and that's going to be in the middle. So if you're really focused on here's some good tips here. If you're really focused on getting that middle, all of those or Imperial, maybe you want your first team that's your best or players or whatnot, or however you want to configure it, be the ones focusing and get ready once phase 2 starts to take those over. There's a lot of strategy involved in this, so keep those things in mind. You will get munitions warehouse. These two, the bottom building right here underneath the Imperial will give you the boost. So you might want to attack and take the munitions first and then go and attack the Imperial. Once you gain control, you'll get those boosts and then push to get the Imperial. Just some ideas there. I recommend looking on the right side of this picture. I want to try to keep this video short. It will tell you the first control of each of the buildings. This will be what this means, like the very first one on top, the prototype. First control, you get 6,000 alliance points. That means that once you control that, if you get that control the first time around, your alliance gets 6,000 points. Whoever, I think, attacks first to that will get the 3,000 points. So if you want to rank high in your for this event in your alliance, make sure you're the one that gets there first. I think that's how it's going to work. Occupation. It's going to be 1,200 points per minute. So my advice, I would look at the most. Like on the very bottom here, Imperial has 1,800 minutes per occupation. So that might be what you want to get. And then the prototype, one on each side. So you might want to defend and keep at least your side of this map's prototype to get the most points to outscore your enemy. There's all kinds of options here. Another thing I want to make a note on phase 3, which I'm still not sure what the time will be for that one. The weapon workshops will start to appear, and you can see them. They're on the corners of the middle. And you can mine those personal points. Okay. And that basically means that one player will be able to send a march onto those. So basically, looking at this map, you had the yellow. That's the first buildings that will be available. And my advice would be maybe it might be best to take the ones on your side of the map. If you start in the red safe zone or in a blue safe zone, you might want to focus on those buildings. And then once phase 2 starts, then take in the middle, maybe go for the munitions to get that boost for your damage, for your troops and reduction. That could be an option. And then phase 3 will have these. So if you're struggling with certain things at that point, you might be able to, some of your low players, maybe your team 3 could go out and focus on some of those. I think I gave a lot of good tips, I think, just to give you an idea of some chances that you might have. Hopefully this helps you guys. And once again, I please want to remind you, if you see what I've done with my content here, I can help you even more if I get feedback. If you're in alliances really organized and you have issues, I need to know what your issues are. Post comments, can contact people in your alliances, get them to come back to my videos and post comments. Let me know what's going on, what issues you have, and I can see if I can try to help. But if I don't know anything about what's going on, I can't help anyone. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Anyway, I appreciate you watching my video. Please like and subscribe, and hit that bell notification for future content, and I'll talk to you guys later.